Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. There. Can you make sure that one's off? Okay. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hmm. Okay. We'll let everybody trickle in, but we need to get going, inshallah. So this evening, because we need to, inshallah, we will be playing just a little bit of catch up over the next few days. Hafiz Sab, inshallah, this evening he will be reciting the first quarter of the ninth Juz. So we're going to, over the next couple of nights, inshallah, we're going to catch up and go through some of the transitions, inshallah. Um, so tonight, inshallah, Surah Al-An'am, and then Surah Al-A'raf, and mashallah, so much to cover. Yeah. Anfal, inshallah, moving into Tawbah. Bidhnillahi ta'ala. But let's begin. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends Surah Al-Ma'idah with Lillahi mulku samawati wal ard wa ma fihinna wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is ending with this reminder of who is the status, the role, the position of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the one who the mulk or milkiya means that now you have ownership, and with ownership comes the ability to do with it whatever you want. You have complete dominion, dominance over that particular thing. It is yours. So how you choose to handle it or use it is completely up to you. So lillahi mulku samawati wal ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who dominates and has complete dominion over the heavens and the earth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, of course, is the creator of the heavens of the earth. So this status of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa ma fihinna, and what is in them as well. وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is completely omnipotent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control over everything at all times in all places. Time and place itself are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, as we're transitioning into from this last ayah into Surah Al-An'am, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins with the first ayah, Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal arda wa ja'ala dhulumati wan nur thumma alladhina kafaru bi rabbihim ya'dinun. The the vast majority of this particular surah was revealed, with the exception of a few ayat, were revealed all at one time in Mecca. And the Mufassirin of the Quran, alhamdulillah, they said that when the surah was revealed and it was brought to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam pretty much in whole, there were 70,000 malaika that came with this surah, and all of them were engaged in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that within this particular surah right here are all the elements of Tawheed. So, including those subsidiary elements as well. So, everything that we have to understand or should understand as a Muslim, as a believer, as a mu'min about Tawheed is contained within this surah. So, just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ending the previous surah with this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's dominance and dominion over the heavens and the earth, as well as what is in them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having this complete control. With this complete control, meaning Allah ta'ala is the one who brought us into existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is sustaining us. The stage, if you will, of the earth itself, that you and I, that we live our lives upon or within, that is also created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we see, everything that we see, everything that we hear, everything that we taste, touch, smell, everything, every aspect of what you and I would are able to regard with our sensory perception, as well as those things which are beyond our ability to be able to sense. So even though, well, prime example, the current health crisis that we're dealing with, you and I cannot see the coronavirus. So, COVID 19 is not something that is visible with the naked eye. We understand the results, we understand the effect that it has. But as far as actually being able to see the virus itself, that is beyond our ability. So, it's beyond our sensory perception. It is only through technological advancement, which is also coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is only because of the aid of technology that we're capable of even able to being able to see that virus. But whether we are able to see it or whether we are not able to see it, it is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is in the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you and I know, the universe is incredibly expansive, even beyond human comprehension. And with this also comes this understanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter how small a thing is or how big a thing is, it has been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you and I are just pieces or a small portion of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah ta'ala is the one who brought us into existence, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave us the significance of our existence. And this is the part that we have to remember, because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa, right? That I'm going to create a khalifa on the earth. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the status of the human being when He created Adam alayhi salam, and to which that Iblis rajim, that he took exception to this. That status was not something that you and I earned. We didn't do anything to earn it, being the children of Adam, or even Adam alayhi salam himself. It is not something that he earned. It's not something that he brought upon himself. It was something that was bestowed. It's the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the divine favor, the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as human beings, we owe everything to Allah, our existence and our sustenance and our maintenance. Every aspect of our existence, we owe that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also the status that we have as believers, um, being the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So all these designations that you and I have been given because we are believers living in the time period, meaning in the time of the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Risala of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that this is all owed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we have nobody else to praise, there's nobody else to thank except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this alhamdulillah, I think we were saying last night also, that this means that Allah doesn't need our praise. Allah doesn't need our thanks. Allah doesn't need our thana, our shukr, our hamd, madh. Allah doesn't need anything from us. Here, it's a statement of fact. So this being brought to the forefront is not because it's encouraging us to do the hamd of Allah because Allah wants us or Allah needs us to do His hamd and shukr. It is because it is a statement of fact. It is a aspect of our aqeedah, meaning the reality of the existence of the human being as an abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who Allah is as Rabbul Alameen. That the aspect of this is that everything that you have is owed to Allah. You can't take credit, nor should you try to take credit, because again, that is a form of dhulm that is taking place. That is a form of oppression, not upon Allah. It is oppression upon ourselves. Anytime that we are wronging ourselves, or we are not recognizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has done for us, is doing for us, and will do for us, then that is an oppression upon ourselves. It doesn't change reality. It doesn't take anything away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qudra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ability, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's magnificence or majesty. It doesn't take anything away from Allah, again, because Allah has no need of us. So we are the ones who are in need. So when we forget that who we belong to, as in the previous ayah, we forget who that we belong to, we forget who that we owe everything to, and then الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and we forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created us and brought us into existence in the first place. The only one that we are harming is ourselves. Truth is truth, reality is reality. It is only when we become delusional or we become oblivious to that reality where we begin now to harm ourselves. And again, this is uh You'll probably hear me say it over and over again during this month of Ramadan, especially if not even from before, that this is when you and I we become engaged in the process of self sabotage and self destruction. Because the only ones that we're hurting is we're hurting ourselves. We may be hurting other people also as well, because of our actions and our lifestyle and the negative example that we may set. But primarily, we are hurting ourselves because even with those, the extension of that harm that we're doing to other people, even that is, in effect, it is more oppression upon ourselves. So it just keeps laying itself layer upon layer upon layer. That's the reason why there's two types of sins. If you're gonna like, there's different ways of categorizing sins, but here we're with two types of sins. You have those sins which are private, and the sins which are private, meaning that it's something that the human being or that the individual is doing behind closed doors, and the impact and the effect of that is, for the most part, is kept behind closed doors. They're not doing it publicly, and they are not. There is a sense of secrecy, whether that's associated with shame or just their intense need of privacy, whatever the case may be. But it's something which is isolated, particularly to themselves, as opposed to those sins which are committed publicly, and now it is also going to impact other people. It's going to impact family members of society, etc. And Sharia approaches, legalistically, regarding legal theory itself, Sharia approaches these two things completely different. So somebody who is committing sins which do not involve anybody else in the privacy of their own home, the hudud aren't necessarily going to apply there. But once it is outside and it becomes public and is within the public eye, and now that cancer that is within that individual, it begins, that corruption, that fahsha, it begins to spread within the society, or it has the ability to be able to spread in that society. Then it's at that time now that this has to be dealt with, and it has to be dealt with in a very abrupt and immediate manner in order to be able to save the ill effects of the actions of that human being from society itself. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, after mentioning khalaqa samawati wal ard, that Allah ta'ala is the creator of the heavens and the earth. So we go from lillahi mulku samawati wal ard, now khalaqa samawati wal ard. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa ja'ala dhulumati wan nur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes from khalaqa to ja'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, khalaqa means Allah ta'ala created, ja'ala means Allah made. And here dhulumat is, dhulm is the singular form, dhulumat, excuse me, dhulumat is the plural. So you're saying darkness is. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then in, with nur, Allah didn't say anwar. The plural of nur, Allah ta'ala uses the singular form. And Mufassirin, they said that, with dhulumat, because the forms of tyranny, oppression, wrongdoing, darknesses, they are many. But the haqq, what is true and what is correct, and what is reality, it is singular. So one nur, it is singular. And of course, there are those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah nuru samawati wal ard. So everything else outside of, so any direction, a way of explaining this is, if you think about a circle, and the 360 degrees within a circle, and yes, for those who want to try to catch me later, yes, we do realize that there is actually an infinite number of degrees. You could take one of those and split it and split it. Aware of that, alhamdulillah. But for example's sake, let's just stick to 360. Out of those 360 degrees that are within a circle that you and I know and understand, say, for instance, if we're looking at a compass or what have you, and because we're talking about direction. So out of those 360 degrees, there's only one degree that is the right way. It is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. So now you have 359 other options, which are dhulumat. Only one of those is going to be nur. So only one degree is going to lead to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to lead to our success, is going to lead to our salvation from the hellfire. The other degrees on that compass, the other possible directions, are just degrees of deviation. But deviation is deviation in Islam. So even if the person is 1 degree deviant, what happens is that as time passes, even though it is 1 degree, it seems like something which is insignificant when you're and perceptively, right? So it seems like it's insignificant, but that 1 degree, as you start expanding and as you move away from that central point, from that compass, as you keep moving further and further and further away, what happens is that that deviation becomes more and more pronounced. And as time passes and as you keep moving forward, you move further and further and further away from the truth. So this is the reason why that it requires taqwa, it requires consciousness, it requires us to be constantly on guard for the any degree of deviation, because any degree of deviation away from the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as we know, uh, um, it is dhulm, it is darkness, it is lalala, it is misguidance. And if we don't catch it at the very beginning, right? So as that deviation begins to take place, if we don't catch that error, if we don't catch that mistake, it becomes, as time passes and as we go on with our lives, it becomes more and more pronounced. And when you're at the beginning, it's easier to make that correction and come back on the correct heading or the correct course setting. But what happens is, as time passes, and now the distance between those 2 degrees, between what is right and what is wrong, between nur and dhulm, as it becomes more and more pronounced, and that distance begins to expand further and further, it becomes more difficult for the person to be able to change course, to change their heading, or if you want to say backtrack or what have you. The point is that the possible wrong answers are more in quantity, of course, than the right answer. There is only one truth. There is only one reality. There is an innumerable possibility, innumerable possibilities of dalala, dhulumat. There are different layers of darknesses, different forms of darknesses, different forms of misguidance, and all we have to do is look at the world around us today to see however many examples we want to take the time to be able to look at and dig into. But there are obvious, mashallah, just look around us, subhanallah. Every human being these days has their own opinion. And here, this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ يَعْدِلُونَ. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own understanding of what they think is right, and it is very subjective. It is subjective, and meaning that how I see the world is relevant to me particular. So how I see the world, my own personal perception of the world and my viewpoint, and even today, to the extent that we are living in a time period where, okay, to provide a contrast, a comparison, when you look at the time of the imma, so when you look at the, say for instance, Imam Malik rahimahullah, and there were individuals that would travel great distances, literally going from one continent to another continent to come and ask him questions. And he would he was not shy whatsoever. If he wasn't 100% sure about the answer, then he would, la adri, I don't know, I don't know. Even with the sahaba, with the tabi'een, you will see even amongst them that instead of answering a question or providing an opinion, they would redirect them towards somebody else, especially in matters of fiqh, especially in matters of fiqh. You, even when you're reading and you're going through the lives of the Sahaba, and you're reading so much, you're gathering all this information, you're getting the insight into their mentalities and their personalities and so on and so forth. You get this very distinct impression that when people would come to them and ask them questions regarding fiqh, that there was almost I don't want to say an annoyance, but it was almost an irritant. Like you are focusing on that's not your primary objective. There's a way of doing things. You're asking too many questions. Take what's in front of you, how it's been placed in front of you. The main focus is supposed to be on your aqidah. It's supposed to be on the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you're getting lost in the how to instead of the actual doing itself. So it's like the person who gets lost in indecision, so they actually end up doing nothing. So now you see that like they don't have these opinions, and they're very reserved with their opinions, and they're not even ashamed or shy of saying I don't have an opinion. Forget an opinion, I don't know. And with that they would send the person on their way. Whereas now, everybody has an opinion. And if you say that you don't have an opinion about something or you don't know something, it's one thing to say, I don't have an opinion about something. It can almost like in society and socially, that can almost be digested. But to say, oh, I don't know, it's almost like what, it's like you have to wear a scarlet letter after that, like, oh, look how ignorant he is. So to profess your own ignorance and to not be shy about saying that you don't know something, or when you yourself knowing that you don't know something and saying, you know what, I have no idea. And I am, when it comes to matters of deen, I am not even going to venture out there and make a guess about something and be wrong and misrepresent the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and ultimately have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. So the best thing for me to do is just remain silent. So we don't even see that really anymore. It's unfortunately it's become such a rare thing that when it does happen, we're for those who are in the know, you're pleasantly surprised when somebody is reserved and they don't have an opinion. Now everybody has an opinion, and with social media and with with technology and the advent of the internet, everybody is constantly with blogging and it's beyond me, be honest with you. All the different apps and this thing and that chat and so on and so forth. It's there's so many different avenues now for people to express their own understandings, their own opinions, their own personal beliefs, which are completely subjective to, again, to their own cognitive framework. So all of these things now are completely out there. So and that's where, going back to our mathematicians, where you're like, forget 360 degrees. There's actually far more than 360 degrees, 360 points actually within a circle mathematically. And we do see the same thing with human beings as well. With over 7 billion people on the face of the planet, you will find that there are so many, just as many varying opinions about this and that and the other. And that is an extremely dangerous thing, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not placed us here for to speculate and to guess and to dig into things which are not relevant to our ultimate mission, which is seeking out the pleasure of Allah through the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our preparation with our meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, understanding the shortness of this life and the vastness of the akhirah, and understanding that this is not our final destination. Just this is just a plot, a corded, excuse me, a plotted course within our overall travels. And ultimately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our destination is going to lead us in front of Allah, the judge of the entirety of the humanity as well as the jinn. And lillahi mulku samawati wal ard. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is maliki yawmiddin. Just as Allah has complete dominance here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have complete dominance there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who decides our ultimate destination. And that destination is eternal in nature. It is infinite in nature. And thus that is where our efforts should be pointed towards. That is the Siratul Mustaqim, and any deviation from that is just that. It is dalala, it is dhulm. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from ever stepping foot off the Siratul Mustaqim. If we are off the Siratul Mustaqim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place our feet firmly upon the Siratul Mustaqim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from becoming misguided after He has guided us. Ya muthabbit al-qulub, thabbit qulubana ala dinik. Ya musarrif al-qulub, sarrif qulubana ala ta'atik. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم لا سهل إنما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Our brother Ali, he has come up ill. So he will not be with us for the next couple of days, inshallah. Please keep him in your du'as. He's the brother who recited for us Thursday and has been calling the adhan for us since the beginning of Ramadan. Please keep him in your du'as. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him shifa, complete and speedy recovery so he can join us once again, inshallah. Also, starting tomorrow night, we will begin at 9 o'clock. The Maghrib is moving later and later, so we will continue to have to make these timing adjustments each week, inshallah, to compensate for that. So starting tomorrow night, we will start the tafseer at 9 o'clock, and inshallah, roughly about 9:20, we will start the recitation, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan jaza. So inshallah, uh, yeah, so we'll have a Hafiz Saab recite now, inshallah. After that, we will have the adhan, and that will complete our program for this evening. Jazakumullah khairan jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, today I will be reciting the first quarter of the 9th juz. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الملأ الذين استكبروا من قومه لنخرجنك يا شعيب والذين آمنوا معك من قريتنا أو لتعودن في ملتنا قال أولو كنا كارهين قد افترينا على الله كذبا إن عدنا في ملتكم بعد إذ نجانا الله منها وما يكون لنا أن نعود فيها إلا أن يشاء الله ربنا وسع ربنا كل شيء علما على الله توكلنا ربنا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين وقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه لئن اتبعتم شعيبا إنكم إذا لخاسرون فأخذتهم الرجفة فأصبحوا في دارهم جاثمين الذين كذبوا شعيبا كأن لم يغنوا فيها الذين كذبوا شعيبا كانوا هم الخاسرين فتولى عنهم وقال يا قوم لقد أبلغتكم رسالات ربي ونصحت لكم فكيف آسى على قوم كافرين وما أرسلنا في قرية من نبي إلا أخذنا أهلها بالبأساء والضراء لعلهم يضرعون ثم بدلنا مكان السيئة الحسنة حتى عفوا وقالوا قد مس آباءنا الضراء والسراء فأخذناهم بغتة وهم لا يشعرون ولو أن أهل القرى آمنوا واتقوا لفتحنا عليهم بركات من السماء والأرض ولكن كذبوا فأخذناهم بما كانوا يكسبون. أفأمن أهل القرى أن يأتيهم بأسنا بياتا وهم نائمون أوأمن أهل القرى أن يأتيهم بأسنا ضحى وهم يلعبون أفأمنوا مكر الله فلا يأمن مكر الله إلا القوم الخاسرون. أولم يهد للذين يرثون الأرض من بعد أهلها أن لو نشاء أصبناهم بذنوبهم ونطبع على قلوبهم فهم لا يسمعون. تلك القرى نقص عليك من أنبائها ولقد جاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات فما كانوا ليؤمنوا بما كذبوا من قبل كذلك يطبع الله على قلوب الكافرين. وما وجدنا لأكثرهم من عهد وإن وجدنا أكثرهم لفاسقين. ثم بعثنا من بعدهم موسى بآياتنا إلى فرعون وملئه فظلموا بها فانظر كيف كان عاقبة المفسدين. وقال موسى يا فرعون إني رسول من رب العالمين حقيق على ألا أقول على الله إلا الحق قد جئتكم ببينة من ربكم فأرسل معي بني إسرائيل. قال إن كنت جئت بآية فأت بها إن كنت من الصادقين. فألقى عصاه فإذا هي ثعبان مبين ونزع يده فإذا هي بيضاء للناظرين. قال الملأ من قوم فرعون إن هذا لساحر عليم يريد أن يخرجكم من أرضكم فماذا تأمرون. قالوا أرجه وأخاه وأرسل في المدائن حاشرين يأتوك بكل ساحر عليم. وجاء السحرة فرعون قالوا إن لنا لأجرا إن كنا نحن الغالبين. قال نعم وإنكم لمن المقربين. قالوا يا موسى إما أن تلقي وإما أن نكون نحن الملقين. قال ألقوا فلما ألقوا سحروا أعين الناس واسترهبوهم وجاءوا بسحر عظيم. وأوحينا إلى موسى أن ألق عصاك فإذا هي تلقف ما يأفكون. فوقع الحق وبطل ما كانوا يعملون. فغلبوا هنالك وانقلبوا صاغرين وألقي السحرة ساجدين قالوا آمنا برب العالمين رب موسى وهارون. قال فرعون آمنتم به قبل أن آذن لكم إن هذا لمكر مكرتموه في المدينة لتخرجوا منها أهلها فسوف تعلمون. لأقطعن أيديكم وأرجلكم من خلاف ثم لأصلبنكم أجمعين. قالوا إنا إلى ربنا منقلبون. وما تنقم منا إلا أن آمنا بآيات ربنا لما جاءتنا. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. وقال الملأ من قوم فرعون أتذر موسى وقومه ليفسدوا في الأرض ويذرك وآلهتك قال سنقتل أبناءهم ونستحيي نساءهم وإنا فوقهم قاهرون. قال موسى لقومه استعينوا بالله واصبروا إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء من عباده والعاقبة للمتقين. قالوا أوذينا من قبل أن تأتينا ومن بعد ما جئتنا. قال عسى ربكم أن يهلك عدوكم ويستخلفكم في الأرض فينظر كيف تعملون. ولقد أخذنا آل فرعون بالسنين ونقص من الثمرات لعلهم يذكرون. فإذا جاءتهم الحسنة قالوا لنا هذه وإن تصبهم سيئة يطيروا بموسى ومن معه ألا إنما طائرهم عند الله ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون. وقالوا مهما تأتنا به من آية لتسحرنا بها فما نحن لك بمؤمنين. فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والجراد والقمل والضفادع والدم آيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين ولما وقع عليهم الرجس قالوا يا موسى ادع لنا ربك بما عهد عندك لئن كشفت عنا الرجس لنؤمنن لك ولنرسلن معك بني إسرائيل فلما كشفنا عنهم الرجس إلى أجل منهم بالغوه إذا هم ينكثون فانتقمنا منهم فأغرقناهم في اليم بأنهم كذبوا بآياتنا وكانوا عنها غافلين وأورثنا القوم الذين كانوا يستضعفون مشارق الأرض ومغاربها التي باركنا فيها وتمت كلمة ربك الحسنى على بني إسرائيل بما صبروا ودمرنا ما كان يصنع فرعون ودمرنا ما كان يصنع فرعون وقومه وما كانوا يعرشون وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتوا على قوم يعكفون على أصنام لهم قالوا يا موسى اجعل لنا إلها كما لهم آلهة قال إنكم قوم تجهلون إن هؤلاء متبر ما هم فيه وباطل ما كانوا يعملون قال أغير الله أبغيكم إلها وهو فضلكم على العالمين وإذ أنجيناكم من آل فرعون يسومونكم سوء العذاب يقتلون أبناءكم ويستحيون نساءكم وفي ذلكم بلاء من ربكم عظيم صدق الله العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.